Hey there, it's Mr. Hasquin, and it's another Ask Mr. Hasquin a Question Day where you can ask me any question and I'll answer it. All you have to do is raise your hand. I have a question here from Olivia about, do you know anything about Robert Smalls? Well, Robert Smalls was born into slavery in 1839 in Beaufort, South Carolina. And as a child, he was hired out in Charleston doing dock work and eventually became an expert navigator and pilot. By the time he was in his early 20s, he was working aboard the Confederate transport ship Planter. But here's where things get a little, interesting for him. So in May 1862, in the middle of the Civil War, Smalls commandeered the ship while the white officers were ashore. And he disguised himself in the captain's uniform and sailed the ship past 5 Confederate checkpoints using the correct hand signals. And on board, his crew, who were also all enslaved, and their families were hidden in the hold. So at dawn, Smalls makes a daring break and sailed straight for the Union blockade, raised a white bedsheet as a flag, and surrendered the ship, along with the Confederate code books, weapons, and intelligence. All those things went to the U.S. Navy. He was instantly celebrated as a hero in the North, and newspapers called it one of the most daring acts of the war. Congress awarded prize money for the captured ship, and Robert Smalls used it to buy the house that he had once been enslaved in. But he didn't stop there. After the war, Smalls helped organize public education in South Carolina. He served 5 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives, and in 1868, he was a delegate to the South Carolina State Constitutional Convention, where he helped rewrite the laws of his state to include public schooling and civil rights protections for black citizens. And in a particularly powerful moment, when a white conductor tried to kick him off a whites-only streetcar in Philadelphia, Smalls refused. He had been a U.S. congressman, he had commandeered a warship, and the man eventually backed off. Now, Smalls is credited with saying, "My race needs no special defense, for the past history of them in this country proves them to be the equal of any people anywhere." So that's Robert Smalls, a man who stole a Confederate ship, won his family's freedom, served his country, and lived out the true meaning of patriotism. Olivia, thanks for the question. I think you were digging a little deep in the history for that one, but hey, us history folks got to stick together, right? Thanks for asking.